Hi guys, it's Sunday and I'm Lee. This week we are talking about our coming out stories. Does that make sense? Yeah. Anyway, we're telling you our coming out stories or our experiences, whatever. With me, I am not really out to everybody. I'm out to pretty much nobody, actually. I'm out to my 3 best friends, all my internet friends, and my mum. That's all. I'm coming out to my internet friends. Well, obviously you just come out. And my best friends, it was easy with 2 of them and hard with 1 of them, because 2 of them are actually lesbians, so for me to tell them I was bisexual, it was kind of easy. And my 3rd best friend, I'm actually the closest to her. I went to school with her and we live really close to each other as well. And so it was a bit difficult telling her because I really didn't know how she would react. I ended up sending her a Facebook message, which I know that's a bit sad, but yeah. I knew she was online at the time, so I was just waiting for a reply. It was like the most nervous time of my whole life, but she replied and she's like, okay, cool, whatever. So she was completely fine, and so that made me really happy. Telling my mum, it's kind of funny, I just randomly decided that I was going to tell her just one day. And I was like, oh yeah, you know, it won't be that hard, you know, she's not judgmental. She's always talked to my sister and I about, you know, if you ever grow up and you find out you're a lesbian or you're bisexual or whatever, it's not going to change anything. And she taught us that from when we were little kids, like pretty little. And yeah, so when I was going to tell her, I was still really nervous, even though I kind of knew how she would react. But it took me like all day. I kept going to tell her and then I couldn't. And then one time I actually go, hey mom, and she's gone, yeah, and I'm like, the words just would not come out. And then I finally got to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm going to walk in the room that she's in, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to tell her. I did that exact thing. I sat down, I was about to tell her, and her boyfriend got home from work. So I'm just sitting there like, are you serious? I finally, you know, got the courage to do this, and you walk in the door right then. So yeah, that kind of put me off it a bit. And so I waited until dinner time, and I was talking to my mum, and she was going out to buy dinner. And we're having a conversation, and she hadn't really finished saying what she was saying, but she was like leaving the house. I'm like, don't worry, I'll follow you out. So I've walked outside with her, the conversation finished, she's about to get in the car. And I'm like, Mum, I have to tell you something. And she's like, what? And she sounded like worried, right? And I'm like, and she's like, you know, spit it out. And then she's like, what, you love me? I'm like, no, Mum, that's not what I'm saying. And I fully kind of started getting almost upset about it. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I'm bisexual. And she's like, yeah, okay. And she's like, what do you want me to say to that? You know, it's not a big deal. You know, I still love you. It's not going to change anything. And yeah. And then she left and went to the shops. And I pretty much burst into tears of like relief, because I'd finally, you know, I'd been holding back for a while, and then I'd finally got it out of my system, I guess, and it made me feel so much better. I haven't told my sister or my dad. I don't live with either of them. I see my sister every weekend because she comes to my mum's, but I think it was important to tell my mum because I live with her. Whereas for my dad, his family are all very Christian and very judgmental when it comes to those type of things, and so I really don't want to be like, you know, cut out of the family type thing, because I'm pretty sure I would be. And my dad, he's not as judgmental, but I'm not ready to tell him yet. And my sister, she's really judgmental, but not because she's Christian or anything. She's just a bit, she doesn't like different things, I suppose. But I'm working up the courage to tell her, because I don't see her all the time, but I still think it's something that she needs to know about. So yeah, that's basically my story. It's not that interesting, but yeah. So yeah, have a good rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye!